Ready? Here we go. Justin here with Between the Studs, and I am joined once again with Chris and John, and we are talking more minifigs, because these guys are the minifig champions. Today is a very highly requested episode, and I'm being serious when I say that this time. This is the most expensive minifigs that we currently have in the store. Well, actually, that's not true. Some of these we had to borrow.
Yes.
It's not everything is things that we currently have for sale, and you told me the reason why is actually quite surprising to me. It's because people buy them so quickly.
Yeah, there's a reason they're expensive, because the demand is very high. For instance, this is the Dark Knight Batman. We have people come in and ask for the Dark Knight Batman constantly. Almost on a weekly basis, probably.
I'd say so.
It's the only Christian Bale Batman they made. It really doesn't look that special. It's just
That print.
Just the print is more unique to this figure, just different. It's just the torso. I don't think it's anything else.
Yeah, that and the head. The head is exclusive. It has a slight different mouth print
I can
that is
see
more
that,
sophisticated, more Christian Bale.
A little more chiseled jaw for Christian Bale.
More muscular.
Yeah, and we have a list of people who want a lot of these figures, such as the Comic-Con figures. Anytime a Comic-Con figure comes in, I'm supposed to call people and tell them.
Really? And so it doesn't matter if they're worth hundreds of dollars. People will come in and pay them. And the other thing that surprised me is you told me a lot of these people that come in and buy these super expensive exclusive figures are not these one-off customers that just want this one thing and then they leave, but it's repeat buyers.
Oh yeah. The most expensive figures that we have here, we had to borrow from one of our customers. Since he's bought them, they've probably doubled in price.
Wow.
So he's done well with them.
Of course, you guys are both minifig experts, I would say.
Supposedly.
Supposedly. Well, for the vodcast, we'll say experts. How do we want to do this? You want to just jump back and forth? Is there a super exclusive one we're going to save for the end?
John and I just went through the store and we chose figures that are about $70 and up.
Okay.
But then just for the sake of diversity, so that they're not all Star Wars figures.
Yeah.
They tend to be very expensive in the Star Wars world.
We went and chose some cheaper figures from other themes.
They're cheap for the theme. Let's say if City in general is a cheaper theme, there's not too many very expensive figures in the City line.
There's none.
But there is a few like $20 and $30 ones.
Yeah, in fact, I told you that we grabbed one. We forgot to get him, the light up police officer.
Oh, yeah.
It's,
Okay.
the Star Wars light up minifigures where the lightsabers light up? They made a police officer at the same time where you press his head and his flashlight lights up.
Oh, okay.
Didn't they make a police officer and then some sort of train-related figure that's a bit more expensive?
The trained superhero, yeah, he's even older than that. He goes back to like 99 or something
Okay.
like that.
So every theme has at least one guy who's kind of exclusive or rare.
More or less. Yeah.
Okay. So what in general causes minifigures to go up in value? Obviously it's the rarity, it's the scarcity.
Popularity.
And then the significance. Usually it's the story significance.
The demand, yeah.
Definitely if they are shown in like a movie, that tends to boost their price up a ton because people will just start buying them off the market, even if it is a retired one and it's pretty cheap. As soon as someone sees it in the film, they're just going to be like, I want that fig. And they're going to go buy it. And which means, since it's no longer out anymore, no longer in a set that's active, it's retired, it's just going to fly off the market like that, and you'll never see it again. It's
strange because you see this across themes. There'll be this really cool figure that only came in one set, has a very unique print, but because it's like this obscure bad guy or something, it won't go up in value. Even though it's an awesome figure. And you see that all the time. So the significance, the want, the demand really is what drives it up.
Like you said, the scarcity. And so here's an example of two figures. You could go to a Lego store and buy these two figures right now. You just have to pay, what, $250?
The set's $330.
$330 to get the Disney train station. And the Goofy is he's just so rare. He only came in that set, and everybody wants Goofy. I mean, he's Goofy.
Well, it's the one of the core five they didn't make.
Yeah.
In the CMF.
And then they put him in a large set that you would have to buy if you wanted to complete everything.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's almost like it's a profit deal, huh?
What's he going for now, John?
50-ish. Around 50 to 60.
Around the $50 range. Yeah. Even though he's still available and he's attainable, you got to spend $330 to buy the set.
Yeah.
Whereas if that's all you want, then you're better off just buying the minifigure for $50.
It still seems like a lot, but in the long run.
There's leaked images of the new Disney line, a 4+ line, the junior line, and one of them includes the Goofy. I can't remember. Is it exactly the same?
He is in a chef's apron,
That's
so
what it is.
it is different. He's still going to be expensive just because he's in his classic outfit, not like in an apron, which kind of destroys the aesthetic. He'll still be expensive. He's still going to go up.
Will that drive the price up or down as soon as it's released?
It'll do nothing. I don't think it'll do anything.
You say
As
not.
soon as it's released, I think he's going to go down. He's already gone down a little bit. At first, when a set comes out, like the Disney train station, that you couldn't get that when it first came out because everybody wanted it and everybody bought it. Now it's been out for a year and it's available. You could go find it. I think he's going to go down just a little bit. It's going to be a different Goofy. What happens when these sets first come out is the figures are very expensive because you can only get them in that set and you can't find that set when it first comes out because everybody's buying it. Once the set's been on the market for a year, like the Disney train station, they start to go down in value because
more
the
people
figures out there.
Okay.
People are buying them. I've even heard of people getting those sets at a discount because they work for Disney.
Got it. Okay. And then some of those get on Bricklink. Okay. You did tell me, I forget which podcast, but there's this sweet spot. When a figure first comes out, it's expensive. Even though it's obtainable, it's expensive. But then there's this lull. What was it? You said like 6 months, a year? What was that sweet time where you want to go on Bricklink and find exclusive figures?
Once the set is readily available and it's out there and you can buy it, is the best time to get the figures, or when the set goes on clearance. If it goes on clearance.
Yeah, which the Disney train probably will never.
Yeah, they could. When that goes on clearance, it might last a week.
Okay.
If that. And then once it's gone, and then the figures start to go up in price. When the set's available to buy is after a while, after like 6 months is when you want to get the figure. New Harry Potter figures are pretty cheap right now in general. I've never seen Harry Potter figures for $3 and $4 each on the market. Next year, this time, they're going to be $6 to $8 each.
Yeah. So if you wanted some of those golden Harry Potter figures or like the golden Ninjago, even though those sets are still out,
wait 6 months after they
release to the public. Okay.
And that's just,
in general. Yeah.
In general.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Unless you want to buy the set.
Unless,
if you want the set, just buy the set.
Yeah. Let's just bounce back and forth. What do you guys want to show us first?
This guy's always been really expensive. Davey Jones, and he only came in the Black Pearl from Pirates of the Caribbean, and he's always been like $75, $85. What's he up to now?
Still about that, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, might have gone up a few bucks, but he stayed pretty stagnant his whole career.
Funny, he's always stayed stagnant in his whole career, like John said. His parts are unique to him, but he's really not a hot seller. It's like, why is the price that high? If you actually needed to sell him, like within a week or two, you'd probably have to take like, I don't know, $40 for him or something.
Well, he's got the unique hat, the unique beard, and then a lot of his pieces
He's got a claw.
The claw only
piece.
came out in the CMF again?
I think so. If not, yeah,
And
I think
it
it
was
was
a
just
different color.
that one. I was thinking of the lobster guy from Atlantis, but he has his own like custom hand pieces.
And the claw's an exclusive color on him. He's very exclusive.
I think the pegling might be only in that color on him as well, but I'm not confident in saying that.
Okay.
So.
You're probably right.
Why not?
We'll just say it is.
And he's just
What could
he's
go
such
wrong?
a cool looking figure, but yeah.
Love John
Maybe
Octopus
it's
people.
just because there's no pirate movie out now.
Yeah.
That's why
That
it's hard to
and
sell.
he kind of got killed.
And that set right now, if you wanted to get him and, you wanted to buy the set's like what?
$600.
$700 for the Black Pearl. It's ridiculous.
Which makes sense, so that's why his price is so much.
The
Just buy him.
He's the most expensive Pirates of the Caribbean minifigure.
Yeah, by far.
Next highest would be
The Hammerhead Shark dude, I don't know his name.
Hadrian?
No, not
Something like
Hadras. Hadras is the guy with the thing on his
Okay.
head, I think. It's the shark
Oh,
guy.
gosh.
Whatever his name, the
It's-
Hammerhead Man.
Yeah.
I'll just call him Hammerhead Man for now.
Marcus?
He's like 50.
Marcus?
Macus?
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this. Does the cost of or popularity of the set then backwards influences the cost of figures? Say, like, Davey Jones wasn't that cool and no one really cares about him, but the one set he came in is the Black Pearl, the ship you want from that entire line. No one cares about Davey Jones. Everyone wants the whole complete set. So in a backwards ipso facto kind of way, it causes him to go up just because the ship itself, the whole set, is hard to get. But no one really cares for the figure. Does
Correct.
that happen?
It does, yeah.
Okay.
It's more or less if a set or a figure from that set is expensive, the set's going to go up because that figure's expensive. And likewise, if the set is popular,
works the
it's
other
going to
way.
go up, which means the figures are going to go up. So
Okay.
normally if a set goes up, the figures likewise will go up, and vice versa.
And so either can cause the other.
Yes.
Okay. That's one thing I never thought about, but that I think the Black Pearl is a good example of that.
Yeah, the Deadpool set is a good, kind of a good example of that.
Of the other way, of the
Everybody
minifigure.
wanted Deadpool, and the Wolverine was always,
About 15.
about
normally.
15 or so, but he's up to
40?
$40 now.
Wow.
Because everybody wanted the Deadpool set, and then you couldn't get it anymore. Now you can't get that Wolverine because everybody bought the set.
Yeah.
And then
So now-
sold him off for cheap.
But
Okay.
Deadpool has definitely leveled out. He's in that $40.
So he's
range.
okay. $40 as far as what we have in front of the table is not crazy right now. If you wanted a regular normal
Actually, Deadpool didn't make the cut. What Marvel
Wow.
figure did make the cut?
We got this Quicksilver guy. He was normally about like $20-ish when he was out. Came in a $50 set. It was a cheap set, so $20 for a figure was still a good bit for a set. And now he's up to $60.
60
bucks.
Why
So-
is that?
And he's dead, which is kind of funny that he's gone up $40 despite dying in his only movie.
Well,
just
Iron
want 'em?
Man's death, didn't that spike the
That
price
boosted
of Iron
every
Man?
single Iron Man bros, except for the current ones that were already out.
Yeah, but now
like-
they're just... Marvel is putting so many Iron Men, like
We have another Iron Man.
regular looking Iron Men in sets, that I think it's slowed down the price
Yeah.
jumps.
So yeah, this was one of the, I think, if not one of the most expensive Iron Man that came in a set. The set was $60 when he was out. He was probably like 25,
It's the white-
$20.
For our podcasters listening in,
The
out there,
astronaut
it's the,
one?
the
Oh,
white
okay.
space Batman.
Batman?
Sorry,
You mean Iron Man?
Iron Man. Another guy they made too many of.
He's about $60 now. He stayed $60 for, I'd say, the past year and a half. He's cool looking. I mean, he never comes in any of the movies. He's just
And that was
wanting people to
$60
come to his
set, right?
Yeah, he's as much as the set was. To be honest, the set isn't that much, like, comparatively. He's the only expensive figure in the set. None of the other ones have really gone up, except for, like, Captain Marvel.
So that's a set. That's an interesting set. That if we were to get that set in, we could probably make more money selling the minifigures separately than the set as a whole. That happens quite often.
Whereas the Black Pearl works the other way. I can see the draw with Iron Man in general because they're very collectible. People want every single one they ever made, right? So that might drive up the price a little bit. This is Patriot Iron Man.
Yeah, he never came in a set. He was a playback. I forget how you got him.
I knew. I got.
I feel like it was a GameStop thing with
Oh, you
a
had buy one of the
game.
games. Okay.
I think he was like $40 for the longest time, and then when Iron Man died, his price jumped to like $80, and now in the polyback he's $80, and built he's $70, I think. So being sealed drives the price up a good bit, but he only appears in one movie. Like his suit never appears again, which is kind of funny that the ones that only in one movie are the most expensive.
And then there's the Silver Centurion polybag, which is very similar. That's up to $60 now, and they were giving that away at GameStop.
Yeah.
You could walk into GameStop and say, "Hey, could I have one of these?" And
I got
quite
one.
often they would give them to.
They're not supposed to though, right? They were had to go with the
yeah.
game. Oh, okay.
Well, and the Iron Patriot came in something. Like you could get him somehow. I forgot how. It was really hard to get. But then they had extras that they were giving out at GameStop. So you could, at one time, you could go into GameStop much later after these came out. They, like, all of a sudden, they found a new shipment or something. And you could go into GameStops and get the Iron Centurion and the Iron Patriot. And you could go in and get them both. And people were bringing them into the store left and right. You know, they were just going
You get
around.
droves of them,
Yeah, we were getting tons of them. And we were happy to give people... I think at the time it might have been $40.
It was like $40,
per figure, and people are getting hundreds of dollars in store credit just for walking into a GameStop and saying, "Hey, could I have this?"
How do you know? Is there a forum where people share this information?
No, you would just go up to every random GameStop and ask because you never knew. And also, some of the GameStop employees would be stingy and wouldn't give them to you. Some would be nice. But it just depended on the employee.
We know because we found out because people were coming in and telling us.
Yeah.
And I mean, as soon as it happens, we we find these things out, and it's like, oh, hey, yeah, don't tell anybody else.
Yeah.
Gosh, that hasn't happened at GameStop for a few years.
GameStop cracked down on it.
Yeah. Polybag minifigures are hit or miss. Like, some of them have gone down in value a lot. Was it the Mr. Freeze, the classic one from the classic Batman?
Yep. You could only get that, if I remember correctly, you could only get that if you ordered the classic Batman set.
Yeah, or it was like a certain amount, like 100. I think 100 is normally the price that they would do.
What's funny is that set hasn't gone up in value.
Yeah, people don't really...
The figures haven't gone up in value.
Yeah, the set, if anything, maybe they've gone down a little bit.
Except for the Batman. I think the Batman's gone up.
You see more of
but
them.
they did just come out with the classic Batmobile with the
which is
Joker
what
and
everyone
Batman,
wanted
which
out of that set anyway.
that Batmobile was the most expensive thing out of that set. It was like $80.
Every now and then you get an unattainable polybag, though, and this is one of them here. This is the Supergirl from the Dimensions game. I'm guessing you had to buy a certain Dimensions starter kit.
I think, yeah, they just added it into a starter kit.
And they put a sticker on the box that said, hey, this is in here.
Okay.
I remember seeing that, like, opening up some Dimension sets a few years back here, and just there was one in there. I'm just like, oh, this is a lot.
Is this the only time they made a classic Supergirl? Or
they technically have made her before, if you're looking at the set-wise, but she had a different hair. I don't know if anything else is different print-wise, but
the character has been made before.
Yes.
The classic Supergirl
She was in a $30 set.
Okay.
yeah.
Right.
The reason this one's a lot is because of the Dimension stand.
Yes.
Surprisingly, Dimension stands can go up a ton. Like, some are hitting $30+ right now.
Yeah.
So,
Did you guys bring Sonic down?
I have reason to not bring him down.
Oh, why is that?
Coming out with a set for Sonic from LEGO Ideas sooner or later.
Is it the exact same Sonic, or is
It probably will be.
Because, I mean, there's not much you could do with Sonic.
They'd
Exactly.
probably change the print on the mouth.
They might, but for now, I won't. But he's $50 without a stand, but his stand is like 30, so he's $70 with his stand.
He's very popular. Kids ask for him all the time. And I say, no, you don't want him. You don't want him.
You can't afford him.
If adult asks for him, I'm like, yeah, there he is, $50. But the kids, I'm trying to do their parents a favor. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no.
Don't.
But yeah, the stand, so this polybag is $70.
Yeah.
And they also made the Green Arrow one, but he was easier to get.
He's only about 25.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not the most expensive one comparatively.
While we're talking about Dimensions, I noticed you bought the Teen Titans Raven. Teen Titans Go Raven.
From Dimensions.
From Dimensions. Was she hard to get? Is that because she's the second most expensive Dimension figure?
She came in a $25 dual pack with Beastie Boy. And Beastie Boy is, I'd say, about $20-ish now, $15 to $20. And she's gone up to 60. And I think it's just the rarity and popularity of the show after it retired. Because Dimensions kind of just disappeared randomly overnight. Like, all their stuff started going on sale, discontinued. Like, I don't think even announced it until later.
If you think about it, if she came in the same set as the Beast Boy, then
They should be.
They have a
the same.
correlation.
should be the same.
But they're not.
Obviously, some more popular
Because
character.
the availability is the same.
Yeah.
But how much does the Beast Boy go for?
said 20?
About 15 to 20.
15 to 20, and she's 3 times more. So she's that much more popular than
Yeah.
Beast Boy.
That's how you can weigh popularity of characters.
Now, HBO has a new show called The Titans, and Raven is the main character in that.
Oh, maybe that's why.
And
That
then,
could be one.
like, Beast Boy's in it, and he's really cool, but he's like more of a side character.
The thing is, with this one, is it's specifically from the Teen Titans Go
Yeah, it's the cartoon. Yeah.
so the accuracy with a live action and or the Teen Titans is way different.
You're right.
But you did
But
mention
still, it's
you
the
did
only
mention that when something comes out, when a media device comes out, it does raise the awareness of the public of that character. So it might cause every other character, even if it's unrelated, to go up.
And Deadpool is the perfect example of that. I mean, when he came out in that set, people weren't buying that set. I mean, it wasn't that special.
It's like $20 set too.
Yeah.
Is there a book figure? A lot of the Lego encyclopedias come with those exclusive printed figures and stuff. Is there a book figure that we brought down, or is there one that you can think of that really went up? Blue Coat Bilbo.
Yeah, he wasn't in a book. It was the DVD, right?
Yeah, I think so. One of the only times besides like the Lego movies, like the not just like the Lego movies, but like the DC like spin-off movies that are like 40 minutes long. It's like one of the only times they did it in an actual movie that came out in theaters, I think.
And in a theme that has a ton of really amazing detail to the nines figures, he is the most expensive.
Yeah. He's about
Just because he has a blue coat.
What's he going for now?
$100.
$100. And there's more there's plenty of Bilbos out there that are available that are cheaper, like $10. You know.
But if you want your collection to be complete, which most people do.
Speaking of Lord of the Rings and those detailed figures, I mean that's probably as good as it gets.
Who is that?
Knight
Theoden.
fans, King Theoden. And he's
on,
got,
Justin.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a Lord of the Rings fan or not. If you like medieval knights or anything, he's got like all the runes all over his decorated helmet and armor and torso, legs, I mean, shield. It's all unique to him. I mean, that's just, how much is he going for now, John?
70.
Which set was he in?
Helm's Deep.
Oh, yeah.
The most expensive
one. Of the most expensive sets, too. Yeah.
Besides the Isengard, Tower of Isengard, which, speaking of that, I mean...
Let's finish Lord of the Rings.
Wormtongue. He is one of the most expensive Lord of the Rings figures. Which
Just because
I
he
don't get that.
is $100.
Just because he came in Tower of Orthanc.
Yes.
I get King Theoden and King Dane.
He's only 60.
Only
But
60.
this guy, the guy everyone hates, who is ugly,
Who's barely in
is
the
$100.
movie or the books.
Yeah.
Poor man. And the only thing like exclusive to him is his torso and his head. Nothing else. His hair is common, his cape's common, his legs are definitely common since they're just straight up plain black. So it's very weird because he's not the most popular figure. But I guess it's because of the set he was in, which drove the price up of everyone in there. He's more expensive than Treebeard, for crying out loud.
So did you say Bilbo was more or he was the most?
They're both the exact same.
Oh, okay.
And then there's one that we didn't bring up from Lord of the Rings, which is Aragorn in his Gondor outfit. He's about 75.
Why didn't we bring him up?
We don't have him.
Oh, well,
That's why.
a good reason, yeah.
If I think of one, I'll just...
He has a unique cape, that Aragorn, right?
It's a dual-sided red and black, I think.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's really unique to him. And then there's King Dane from the Hobbit. His helmet, I could see why he's so expensive. His helmet is just so
nice.
cool.
Mm-hmm. And that's been exclusive to him, right?
What's he go for now?
60,
And he was
59.99. The Attack on Dale, that small set.
Really?
Yeah, the one that came with the eagle, and then with the Thorin with the crown. Which that Thorin is actually expensive, but he's not crazy expensive. He's only like $39.99. But
he had a pretty unique axe too, didn't he? The trans red axe.
Which didn't make sense, but you know, it was cool. Surprisingly, this guy, he came in the Fortress set, which was about $100.
So that's the Steve in all gold armor.
Yes. He's about $60 to $80 right now, solely because of his armor. So he's very common. Like you can get the Steve head, the Steve torso everywhere.
And gold,
it's just the armor.
Gold torso unprinted or gold legs unprinted is not that hard to get.
It's the helmet and the torso.
So
or the
between the armor and the helmet, you said he's $100?
About 60 to 80.
About 60, 80. So let's say $60.
The helmet.
They must be like
a lot.
$30 each.
The helmet's about 30 to 40 by itself. And then the torso's probably on the edge of about 20 to 30.
Wow.
So it's insane to think about because this guy was literally a few years ago $20. And we got him again because we didn't have him in a long time. I looked up his price and I was in shock because it's such a common figure. Like you can get the gold armor on other figures for crying out loud.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
This one really surprised me the first time I saw it. It's the Minecraft set with the witch. I didn't even know they made that witch because I'm not really into Minecraft.
Well, you're not in middle school.
Hey, or college.
You gotta understand, I'm sorry for people out there who play Minecraft, but to us older guys, people who play Minecraft are in middle school. That's just the mentality I have. No, that's not true. I know there's plenty of college and high schools. I know it's not true.
no,
Just ask all the employees here.
Yeah, I know. Just in my head.
There's plenty of adults too. That,
okay.
I know a lot of adults that love to create worlds in Minecraft.
Yeah, it's Lego on video.
In fact, I heard it might have been you guys Mark talking about somebody recently, but his job is to create worlds for Minecraft.
Yeah, Cheesy Studios.
Wow, that's
Some
awesome.
guy on Instagram, yeah.
Yeah, and is he into Lego?
Yes, he builds.
Of course.
Which
frequently.
makes sense.
Yeah.
In fact, Ed is one of the co-owners of Atlanta Brick Co. And when we first met, he thought that Lego was Minecraft and Minecraft was Lego. So he had some Minecraft action figures, and he was like, "Hey, look at these Lego figures." I was like, "That's not Lego, it's Minecraft." And he's like, "Yeah, Minecraft, that's Lego." I mean, it just makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You know, the pixelated building bricks. But you and I, we tried so hard in the 80s and 90s to get out of pixels.
Now they're back.
And then
They're back and more popular.
They save on rendering
2.0.
and loading times.
Yeah. But anyhow, this witch is how much now,
You
John?
can't even buy them in the U.S. brand new, but he's about 120.
His torso was just so weird. He just did not look like a Lego. He doesn't really look like a Lego figure.
I don't even know if his hat is part of his head mold or not, or if it's just stuck on there. It's very confusing.
I remember finding him, and I almost threw him in the trash.
Yes, I remember that. And I caught him. I'm just like, why are you throwing this guy away? He's like $40.
And now he's
120.
$120. So that makes this set. It's a sealed The Witch Hut, and it's $230.
It's really the only thing that's expensive in the set.
We just got this recently. Mom and her teenage son came in and was like, "Hey, we found this set in this closet. He never opened it. He never wanted it. What would you give us for it?" It was originally like a $50 set. It's only...
yeah.
It's not that old. It's 2017, so it's 4 years old. I looked it up. I think we gave them $150 for it, and they were like, "What?" I was like, "Oops, was that too much?"
This one has a specific figure. This is Charged Creeper.
The Mountain Cave set.
I don't know where he is. He's like right here. We haven't had him in so long. I don't even know what his price is anymore. Like, I know his price has been going up because I check it periodically. But
it's like a creeper, but he's translucent.
A creeper who's been struck by lightning.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Is he the only exclusive figure in this set?
He's about $70, $70 to $80.
Okay.
No one's selling him in the U.S. There's only actually 2 sellers.
How about the Black Sheep? He looks pretty rare.
The Black Sheep? This has gold armor too, which might be the only other time gold armor is on, which is why the gold armor is so expensive. And then maybe we just figured out why.
The bat. And then that shield, and we have 2 of these right now. The set is $900.
It's sealed, right? This one's
No,
sealed?
it's
this is
sealed. I think it's like $1,500, maybe.
This last one was sealed, right?
The last one was sealed, yeah.
The Witch Hut was sealed, this
set is, and it's so big. We had this one time when it was cheaper, like maybe $400 or $500, and it was on the shelf, and the box split open on the shelf. It's a huge set.
Well,
it's very heavy.
You were right, Chris. The sheep is actually like $30.
There's quite a few Minecraft figures that have gone up in value over
Minecraft
the years.
is very popular.
Yeah. Surprisingly. I'm thinking though that the Charged Creeper price is going to go down just because they're coming out with it again. So
is it exactly the same?
No, I don't think so. I think the trans blue is darker.
Okay, because that's a light trans blue.
I honestly couldn't tell. The box art was kind of iffy. Okay. But I think it's just another classic case of fans saying like, "Hey, we don't want to spend this much for a figure, so Lego will re-release it like they do with like the bigger sets."
What's really interesting is that two things could happen. It could lower the price of that one because now they can get a cheaper one. Or it could raise the price of that one or keep it the same because people get the new one and they're like, "Oh, this is so cool. Now I want the old one."
Yeah.
You know, so it raises awareness and demand.
Someone will start looking it up, see what else there is.
If there's a big enough difference between the...
Okay.
Exactly, yeah.
Jumping into the next one.
DC.
Okay,
DC.
We gave Marvel some love. Let's give some DC love out there. I see we have Professor Zoom. Reverse Flash. Inverse Flash. Professor Zoom.
See, this is an interesting figure, just because I don't think anyone expected him to go up as much as he did. He was in a $30 set. He was like maybe $9-10 for the longest time, and now he's $55. So I guess it's just the rarity of him, and the price of that set has gone up a ton. In fact, the Cyborg in that set has gone up some, but he's only like $20. It's interesting to see because I think he drove up the price of the other figures in that set because that set's over $100 now, I think. So.
Well, he's an awesome character. He's Evil Flash.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want this in their collection? He looks so cool, like the color scheme and everything. Even though it's just a reverse of Flash.
We talked about the Dark Knight Christian Bale Batman. It's up to $100 now. He has gone up a lot. And then I remember he used to be... Somebody had him in bulk. One of those California Bricklink sellers had like 1,000 of them for. You remember we did buy some?
Yeah.
I think they were $20 to $30 each.
I remember they were a good enough price for you to want to buy them.
Yeah, we bought 4 or 5, not a lot. You know, we sold those. Now he's up to $100, and of course you can't get them.
Yeah, actually,
No one has them in bulk.
Heath Ledger Joker.
And then the Heath Ledger Joker, which is by far stands out
yeah.
to me a lot more than the Batman because he's just so unique. I mean, I'm surprised Lego even made him.
Isn't that the only time they've made that hair in green too?
Yeah.
So
I
think everything's exclusive to him then.
Yeah, the legs, the head, torso.
Now, are they coming out? Did I see a leak of another Heath Ledger Joker in a
They're
smaller
coming
set?
out with a Tumbler. I don't know if it will include him.
Oh, okay.
It's just
Probably
speculation. And you know how speculation changes in the Lego community.
Yes.
I'm surprised they're coming out with another Tumbler, honestly. So
Shows
soon.
Lego, appealing to the fans who want it
Yeah.
and that want to pay the price that it is now.
And these two figures only came out in that huge UCS Tumbler, right? That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Those were the only 2 figures it came with as well.
Speaking of UCS Batman, we do have the Michael Keaton with the awesome rubber cape.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Such an interesting piece.
How much
mold.
is he? Well, they had to do it, right? To make it look like that.
I think it works the best, especially since the cowl and the cape are connected together. It's just one giant piece.
In the movie, he famously couldn't move his head very much.
And it's the same in this one because he can't move his head at all. I think it's about 60-ish, somewhere around there.
And that's another example of a figure. You could go to the Lego store and you could buy him right now in the set for what was
The Batwing, I think, is $200 right now.
Well, he came in the Batwing and the Batmobile, right?
Yeah.
Or are they different?
The Batmobile was $250. Nope, they're exactly the same.
Oh, okay.
100% identical.
So I bet he's going to go down before he goes back up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once those sets retire, and if there's no other indication of him coming out again, which I don't see it, as they've already made both main vehicles for the Keaton Batman, unless I'm mistaken, his price will start going up once that Batwing retires. So this one is the Party Joker, which
From the Lego Batman movie.
the Joker Manor set, which they actually came out with 4 of the party ones: the Batman, the Joker, the Robin, and the Batgirl. He's running about $80 now. The set was about $270 when it came out, and he was about like $20 to $30 when that set was actively out. But now since the set's retired, the set's gone up a ton. The figures have gone up a ton. Like, I think the Disco Batman, I think they're called the Disco ones, is over $100 now. I don't know about the Robin or the Batgirl. I know they're the cheapest of the bunch, but he's the second most expensive.
Did they do Alfred? I'm trying to remember.
They did in the CMF series,
In
and
the
they also did
CMF.
the Harley Quinn.
That's right.
So
okay.
it was a good addition because that came out before the Joker Manor. So people were like, "Hey, we want to finish the Disco set." So
I don't think they made very many of those Joker Manor sets.
No.
That was
it was
a pretty exclusive
out and
set.
gone in like a year, year and a half,
That's
which
one
is
of the,
less time than normal.
Everyone
for a set.
asks for that set too, and it had those super exclusive. Are the other figures that expensive?
The Batman's more expensive, over $100, I think. Robin and Batgirl, I would say, are probably $30 to $50.
This is the first Nightwing that Lego made, and he's 2006, I think.
Yeah.
And he had the Exoforce hair, the black hair from Exoforce. It was
Isn't
rubber.
that hair a lot? Like the black one specifically?
Yeah, it only came with him, and it came in an Exoforce. I don't even think the character had a name. I think it was one of the guards. It was an Exoforce guard. That makes that Exoforce character worth as much as the hair.
How much is the
itself.
hair?
The hair used to be $20 to $30 each. I don't know what it's going for now. At one point, it was $5 or $6, which was expensive at the time. Now it's like not a big deal, you know.
There's other parts that are like
Yeah.
so much more expensive.
$5 or $6 for that hair would be fantastic to pay now.
Yeah.
It's such a cool hairpiece.
It's the Goku hairpiece.
Yeah.
If you wanted to make Goku, that's it.
That's probably why it's so expensive. Everyone wanted to make their own custom Goku.
And he was the only Nightwing for a long time. If anything, he's probably gone down in price.
Because they've done
The hair is, about like 15.
So he's actually gone down, I would say, over the years.
Yeah.
So you could almost get a haircut for the cost of that tiny
You're
little
right. You're
hair.
right. Yeah, we'll save the Comic Cons for last. They are so much more expensive than anything you can get in a set.
You're going in the triple digits.
Because, I mean, even though you're getting them
Upper
from
triple
being there, it's still a limited amount that are given out.
Let's go back in time for a minute. These are the Dark Forest Castle Forestmen. And they have a unique print on their torso that's was with these guys. And they are $65 each now But what's crazy is they're old figures, right, from the 90s. Just last year, they were like $30 each. And I thought that was a lot of money. And in the past year, with quarantine and the pandemic, these classic castle sets have skyrocketed because everybody's getting their old stuff back out, and they realize how bad condition it is, and they want to make it in good condition, and they get mid-condition figures for it. So now all these figures, I think, are gone off the market.
It's
So
crazy.
that has really increased the price of these figures a lot.
Same with just Knights in general and everything.
Well, explain this to me. Just looking around the store, some of those old police, castle, I don't mean like super exclusive guys like these, but just in general, the old castle, the old classic space, a lot of those figures don't go up like these figures that are only 5 years old, even though they're 20, 30 years old. Can you explain to me why that is?
Well, in this, when they were making these figures, the Black Falcon's Knights are so cool. The Forest Men are so cool, but they put them in every single set,
And they're exactly the same.
Yes.
and they're all the same.
Okay.
And with the city stuff, they put them in every single set. They're more or less all the same. And if they are different, the demand's just not there.
Okay.
You
Well,
know.
definitely for city,
Yeah.
the demand's the lowest. But I mean, you'd think like some of these cool knights I see. Oh, there's that Scorpion Knight. There's that. It's not that crazy to see a figure that's 20 years old. The price is not that high, so it's really in that instance, it's really about scarcity versus the
Yes.
the want, the desire.
And we have a lot of classic castle fans that collect classic castle figures. John, have you ever had anyone say that they collect city figures come in the store? I want every fireman minifigure. Hey, that would be cool. That'd be really
They're
neat.
just not
If
as
you
collectible.
exist.
They make them so often.
If
It's
you're
so
a
different
fireman
every
or you
time.
really like firemen, then you might do that. But we've not met anybody that
Yeah.
has asked
Normally,
for that.
though, like, the reason people collect city figs is for the cities. But the thing is that when you are doing a city and you are doing, like, a fire station or a police station, you want officers and firemen that are the same. Because
Got it.
that
Uniform.
makes the most sense, uniform-wise.
Uniform, got it.
So, yeah, they always just stay stagnant because when they make a new one, people who are just starting the city will take that one and buy those, and so forth as they start making more and more. So the price never goes up because they're just kind of forgotten.
And it's funny, a lot of customers will bring in the really old classic space and city figures, and they're like, oh man, I see minifigures are worth a lot of money now. I've got the really old ones. And it's
Yeah.
like, darn. They're not,
They're not worth
number,
it.
worth
number
anything.
one,
Here's
it's
a couple of bucks.
It's hard to find them in good condition because
Yeah.
they all got played with. But that real sweet spot is just in the last 10 years of minifigures. Ninjago is the perfect example of that. Whoever thought
my goodness.
Ninjago figures would skyrocket the way they've skyrocketed? I understand Star Wars. It's Star Wars.
Yeah, it's been around for a
Yeah.
long time.
But Ninjago?
yeah.
John, what's the most expensive Ninjago figure?
We actually have a bunch of
We
Ninjago. A
actually-
handful, I would say.
There's two that are the most expensive here, but there's honestly more than what we have shown. This Moro, there's actually all the Moros are 80 plus bucks. This one's $100. Solely because he has a cape compared to the other one. Because they do have one that looks exactly like it without a cape, that's $20 less. But for some reason the cape and or the set he came in drove him up $20.
Is that cape exclusive to him? Because it looks like the Ring Wraith cape.
Nope. It's not. That's the thing. Like, you could buy the cape for just a few bucks.
How
It
much
doesn't
is the
make any
figure
sense.
without the cape then?
$80.
Wow.
So, and the figure without the cape came in one of those, like, Ninjago spinner thingies. Like the Beyblade kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Which makes no sense, because that was like a $10 set. But because of the popularity of the character, his price was driven up. And since they have not made one since...
Yeah.
when did Season 5 come out? Back in 2014? I think 2014.
And he's...
2015.
How old is he? I mean, he can't be
He's
that
like
old.
6 years old. He's not
6
that
years
much.
old. That's not that old.
6 or 7 years old, something
Yeah.
like that. And then there's the Possessed Lloyd, this one. It came in like, I think it was an $80 set. He's the same price as the set now, $80. Just because of his popularity. And Morrow being one of the best villains, so
Yeah,
like,
that
it makes
hood's
sense.
really unique to him, though, right?
Yeah,
Or is
it's everything's unique to him. Everything.
Wait,
on
you
him.
could get the hood in a different color.
Not the hood.
The
armor piece came in dark blue for some
That's
of the ghosts from
But
that season.
that was totally unique
Yeah.
for him.
Everything in this guy is completely unique. The only thing unique in this guy is the torso, leg, and head.
You know what bothered me about when I actually watched the show? That Morrow has a green stripe.
Yes,
in
down his hair.
Have
and
they
never
ever
added that.
made a?
It's kind of like with the little kid Lloyd. They didn't make the hair until the Ninjago City Garden set.
To me, that's begging for a CMF.
I know. It doesn't make any
Make a
sense.
super accurate Morrow with a slightly
should.
different,
Especially with the tools Lego has now. They
yeah,
should. And
they
then
could
he'd
easily do the green
go up even more.
print.
There's Garmadon.
Human Garmadon.
Resurrected state, I should say. He's $50. He was cheap for the longest time.
What set was he in?
$10. He came in, I believe it was the Nindroid Dragon mech from season 3. I think. I know there's two different ones of him. The other one's like 25 or 30. Not as much as this one, just because this one came in more. He was in more seasons, so he's more popular, more relatable to the seasons than the other outfit one. But again, I don't remember exactly.
That's
which ones
funny.
came.
That one is easier to get because there's more of him.
Yeah.
But it's the more popular version.
Mhm.
So in that sense, it's the opposite. That one, it's the popularity of the character, the desire that causes
Yes.
the...
'Cause
it's so crazy how collectability works.
If he came in the set, the Nindroid Dragon, that Nindroid Dragon's not actually that much. Like, it's
Huh.
maybe 100, maybe a little over 100, 120 now. So, it's interesting.
So might as well buy the set.
Yeah.
What surprises me is the adult fans of Ninjago.
Mm-hmm.
They collect the minifigures, which is why they're so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
You collect the minifigures, and it's geared towards kids, and it's relatively new. You know, I mean, it's only been around for 7, 8 years.
No,
they're on 10 years.
10-year
now.
anniversary
10 years
was this
now.
year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so
Remember the Golden Ninjas?
you know, you were an adult when you got into it, and there's a lot of adults that I mean, it's got a massive following. That's just really surprises me. Usually, you get into things like Star Wars or things that were around when you were a kid. When I go to these Lego conventions, there's a lot of adults that are buying these figures, and they've got to have every single one of them.
For me,
That's crazy.
For me personally, it's because I like Asian culture and things. And we talked about this on our themes podcast that Ninjago does that so perfectly because it doesn't have to be Ninjago in a lot of those sets. You could just make it an Asian temple, an Asian building.
Yeah.
And they mix the Chinese and Japanese together, so you could do either or. And then the story is just so good.
Yes,
the voice
definitely.
acting is so good. The quality of the show in general. I was just noticing the music. It's fully orchestrated music.
They put a lot of effort in making
That
it
show
really
must be
good.
expensive for Lego.
Hey, but you know, with
It
Ninjago
shows.
being like the top five, one of the
Yeah.
top 5 sellers, showing that they're doing something right.
Yeah.
And it's so funny, the show is.
Yeah, it's good.
I haven't seen as many as you guys have, but I remember when Lloyd became friends with Pythor.
That was season 1.
That was the last one I saw, probably.
You saw the first season. They're on to 15 now.
It was just so funny the way that
Yeah.
it was like, "Oh, you're my friend. You wouldn't betray me."
Yeah.
And he's just talking snake.
No, snakes are always good in stories.
And he's got such
Dumb.
an official name, kind of like in Star Wars, Salacious B. Crumb. He's
Pythor P something weather.
so you got the Time Twins there.
Both super
What are they
expensive.
selling for now?
They're $80 each.
$80 each, and
Pythor P. Chumsworth.
Chumsworth. that's
Chumsworth.
right.
I never thought they'd amount to anything. I always thought they were cool when they came out, especially season 7. Season 7 isn't the most popular by fans, in my opinion.
Why do you think they were worth so much?
I think it's just because of their parts, the hood, the cloak. They are enjoyable by people, but also they only came in
That
one set,
set.
which was the mech, the time mech, I think is what it was called. So they only came in one set, so their collectability shot up because of that.
Aren't they supposed to have cool
Pretty
things
cheap.
on their hands?
Yeah, they had the little like time blades,
Time
but
blades.
surprisingly, those are expensive now too. They're going between And they're in the 20s. I think one's 14, the other ones are all in the 20s price-wise.
We've got a ton of them in our Ninjago graveyard. We should put them in the figure.
Keeping with Ninjago, we have the original Overlord.
He was actually the first figure in Ninjago to go up a ton. He went up to about 80. I don't know why everyone was buying him out. He wasn't really coming back into the show. Yeah, he started the mass exodus of cheap prices.
Are those pauldrons exclusive in that color to him?
I think it is. Yes.
I'm pretty confident that it is.
I remember when we were trying to make one, we could never find that piece, and it was expensive on Bricklink because, again, it only came in that one fig. That fig went up. Everyone was buying it. Yada, yada.
Yeah. The head, the torso, and the leg pieces.
Yeah. But the helmet's common. Yeah. The arms are common. Yeah. Years ago, I bought a big bulk amount of Lego just at a yard sale. And my older son, my sons are twins, but the older one,
are they time twins?
Are
they time twins?
I wish.
Do they age like in WandaVision?
No to both. My older one loves to go through that bin and just find stuff. And now that we're not watching Ninjago, he finds all these cool things and, oh, this is this character. Oh, this is this. He found a completed Overlord. Just in that bin, pauldrons and everything. I haven't inspected it for quality. I don't think there's any cracks, but there might be some scratches.
I'm glad you brought that up because would you say he is at now 80?
80?
He stayed at 80 for a while now.
Put one little scratch on him, and it brings it down to 60, 50. We wouldn't even put him out for sale unless we were desperate.
We'd have to write
it
used.
Yeah, we'd write used on it. And then put a crack in his torso. We wouldn't put him out.
It wouldn't even be worth anything.
Nope.
Put him. He'd still.
If it's like a super expensive minifigure that's worth a lot, and we find one that's used, we'll put him out and say it's used because it's still a ton cheaper than the new figure. And if you don't care about condition, someone's gonna buy that up.
So on Bricklink, you have two prices. You've got the used price and the new price. The new price is a mint condition minifigure. Yeah. The used price is, it could range from $5 up to $80, which is the full price if he's mint condition.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So used is a very broad term, and we do have a lot of kids that will see the Overlord for $80, so they'll bring in their Overlord that's all chewed up and say, "Oh yeah, let me get $80 in trade for this." Well, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
sadly, it does not work like that.
Rather than offend somebody, quite often I'll just say you're better off just holding on to him and keeping him because a used minifigure is not what we're talking about right now. We're not talking about used minifigures. Yeah. We're talking about mint condition collector's items.
Brand spanking new.
Yeah.
Finishing off Ninjago, we'll start with this big boy.
Yes.
What is his name? He's one of the sons of Garmadon. He's the big fig from that series. He's got a unique body, unique everything.
Those masks are so cool.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The mask is what makes him so expensive, because without it, he's $30 cheaper, $40 cheaper. So this is $100 with the included orange Oni mask.
Kilo.
I
forgot his name. It always escapes me. The mask price is $50. That mask is $50 alone. The figure alone is $60 without the mask. The other two masks as well are also expensive. They're about $30 each, the purple and red ones.
So by buying him with his mask, you're saving $10.
Yes.
Nice.
Because
that's a deal.
I've seen people put the Bugs Bunny head on him because it's the same color gray.
Big Chungus.
Oh, wow.
I've seen someone make a full Big Chungus already with the head.
All right, so that finishes up Ninjago.
We might want to talk about this guy.
Okay.
So, Nexo Knights, that fun little theme that came out.
The one everyone
thought
loves.
would ever go up. Well, some of our employees call it Nexo Trash. Well, two of the figures actually did go up a ton. You only have one of them. This one right here, this certain stone clay. I actually haven't even checked his price lately, but he's like at least $60 to $70 by himself. Solely because he came in, I think it was an exclusive set. I have no clue. But the two most expensive figures in Nexo Knights came from the same exact set. There was a black gargoyle. I forget what his name is. General Garg, I think it was. They're both extremely expensive.
And there's quite a few that are in the $20, $30, $40 range that are just really cool looking bad guys, right?
He's actually $100 now.
Wow. That, a lot of times with Nexo Knights, and they just did the same thing with Hidden Side, is when they decide they're getting rid of a theme, and they've already got a new production run out there of another series of that theme. They just cut it short, and they just don't make very many of them. And that's what they definitely did with that with the Hidden Side,
And Chima.
Probably did the same thing with Nexo
Chima,
Knights.
Nexo Knights, Hidden Side are all subject to
So that makes those pretty rare.
That final castle,
parts.
you could get it. I think
It was
Angie asked at the
like
Lego
a store exclusive,
and
Limited production
She
of
said they got 8 its entire run. They got like 8 or 10.
And that was like the best that they had ever made.
I
in the
know.
series.
Why did they do that?
Did you ever get it?
No. No.
You tried.
I kept looking
And
at
now
Target
it's
and Walmart.
probably even more expensive now because
Oh,
of
yeah.
the exclusivity.
I didn't. If I had realized, actually, over Black Friday they had it, and I clicked on it, bought it, clicked on checked out. An hour later, they sent me the email saying, "Oh, this item's gone."
Oh.
So it was in my cart,
Man.
digitally anyway.
Yeah.
All right,
The counterpart to this one, the Black Gargoyle,
the Black
is
Gargoyle.
$100 as well. So they're both $100, which is a lot
I
for
think
some
I-
Nexo Knight figs.
I think I have those two.
Let's knock out Star Wars.
All right, let's do it.
We
might
have
as
a
well.
lot of Star Wars figures. Let's try not to spend too much time on them. Let's go with the oldest ones
Let's
first.
go quick.
We've got Jedi Bob here, the original yellow
Wonderful
flesh.
Jedi Bob.
We've
Hopefully
talked
he comes
about
in when
him
he's in.
in our Star Wars Episode 2 podcast that just came out recently. So if you want to hear more about Jedi Bob,
Listen to that one.
listen to that. But what's he going for now?
He's $80.
$80. Wow.
For
He's always been expensive.
A Jedi that wasn't even in the film.
Just 5
He
years
could have
ago.
been.
put
He
in.
could have been.
Oh,
I don't
of course.
know.
But then that would be
Could've
saying
been in the
Jedi Bob
background.
died, and he's too OP to die. He'll never die.
Just 5 years ago, he was $20 to $30. Now he's
80,
$80.
He
Okay.
could be even more than that. I don't know.
But again, that's in good condition. It's hard to find him in good condition because he's an older figure and he got played with a lot.
Especially since he's the classic brown instead of the reddish brown on everything.
The Cloud City figures, the original Cloud City would be the next one. Here's the Cloud City Leia. She's up to $80. She's got a very unique look to her.
Mostly it's just the torso that's like.
Is that
exclusive.
hair super?
The
You know what's
hair
funny
actually-
is it's Padme's hair, right?
Yeah, and that Padme's
Oh.
like $10. She's not the most expensive Padme. So it's really just the
that's
torso
not-
and the set she came in.
Same thing with Luke Skywalker. I think it's just his legs and the waistband
Yeah.
are printed.
That nice little
But
silver
that
print.
torso's not unique to him, is it?
I think it came in one other thing.
Like
but
the engineer or the mechanic?
I think the engineer might be different,
Yeah.
but for the most part, I know that just it's
So the torso
mostly
could be
probably
unique
because
to
of
him,
the
okay.
set he came in, because of one specific figure, which we'll get to here soon.
But he's 230.
There's the Lando from it. He actually, his cape and torso and his head, I think, are exclusive to him. The cape was like $100 for, still is, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
just because the cape is exclusive to him. Even though they just made him in the 20th anniversary ones,
what's he selling?
it's still
for now?
different. He's about $250. He might be more now. I don't know.
I remember for the longest time you could buy the minifigure on Bricklink like in bulk.
Yeah.
For a decent price.
Probably like
but he
50 to
didn't
100,
come
yeah.
with his cape.
Yeah.
He never came with
I
his
think it was
cape.
$50 without his cape, and then
Yeah.
the person sold his cape for like $50+ as well.
And this is the creme de la creme. This is the Cloud City Boba Fett, which we can't keep this guy in stock. He's up to $600 now. This is a misprinted version, but it's a bad misprint because they took that really cool Mandalorian logo and they didn't put it on him.
How much would he be without the
He's
misprint?
got it's
600.
you can tell it's the right arm. It's the correct arm. It's got the spot for the patch and for his wrist blaster.
That just like missed
it's-
a print on
They
it.
just they only put the white or gray or whatever color that is
the bottom
pad
layer,
on
yeah.
it.
Oh, like the
The
primer.
bottom, yeah, they put the primer on it, but
Oh.
they didn't put the rest on.
It's really sad, and it was
So-
really weird when we.
We're selling
Got it.
him for the same price as the normal one, which would
Okay.
be about $600. Which
Normally, misprints are a lot more
Mhm.
because collectors really like getting the misprinted ones, but because the figure was already so expensive, his price is about the same.
And
Yeah.
it's a bad misprint because that logo is
Yeah.
so cool looking. This is
yeah.
actually one of the older figures. He's light flesh. It's
Antil-
Wedge Antilles.
Yeah.
He came in the
Captain
Tantive.
Antilles, yeah.
The
No,
old-
it's not Wedge Antilles.
that's not Wedge Antilles.
Well, doesn't Wedge die? Oh, no, he dies in the film.
Who is?
He's just Captain Antilles. I think he might be a relative of Wedge. I don't know.
Really? I never knew that. What's funny about this figure is he's older, and a lot of people don't even know he exists.
Yeah,
he
it's
looks
weird.
In fact, we found that head one day. Look at the back of his head.
It's like a little squiggle to make him
I
look
like
sad.
this.
He just looks like a rebel trooper, a regular rebel trooper. But then you turn him around, and he's got this like squiggly,
Yeah.
kind of like a
Cartoony.
Charlie Brown.
Yes.
I remember when you found that and you were like, is this a custom print or something?
And it took us a while to figure
Yeah.
out who he went to, and then what is it, $100?
He was $100, yeah.
Yeah, he only came with the first Tantive.
Surprising his price
second
didn't go
Tantive.
out with the second Tantive. Or the
Yeah.
third Tantive, sorry, there's 3 of them.
He's just so unique.
The other one's about 50, the one from the recent one. Speaking of Tantive,
Bail
has
Organa.
quite the interesting story around him. He's $100 now.
Ghana, is he?
Bail Organa. He was the adoptive parent of Princess Leia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Alderaan.
controversy surrounding this minifigure right now because there's a certain site, Public Bricks, which, I have no problem with, but he saw the value of this figure in the future, so I think he invested in some and basically bought up the cheapest ones on Bricklink in the US and drove his price up absolutely insane.
Which you say people do that a lot with pieces.
People do that with pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his price went from like $50 to $100 in a matter of a few months.
Just because this one individual has all of them.
Yeah, and he just told people, and people started buying them up.
That's what happened with GameStop. Stock.
Yeah.
So you could do the same thing.
Hey,
with
Lego stock
minifigures.
now. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Knowing Lego, they would come out with like the exact same figure just to spite him.
Maybe.
They do.
Possibly.
So people say Lego does do that intentionally, where they'll re-release stuff where people
To prevent people from
because
doing
they
it
don't
in the future.
want people to gouge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That takes
Collectors.
away, the collectability of it because, if someone wants a figure, they're going to go online. And
Yeah.
it just came out like 2 years
And
ago.
we're right
and,
there with
yeah.
them. We don't like the gouging,
Mm.
scalping.
Scalp.
When a new set comes out,
Someone,
we try our best to sell it for retail price, whereas people call us and they're like when the Millennium Falcon was re-released, the UCS version, we had people calling us up, hey, what would you give me for a Millennium Falcon UCS? Percentage off of retail because we're a reseller and we're just going to sell it for retail.
Yeah.
Oh, those things are selling for $1,000 on Amazon. I was like, we're not scalping them.
Yeah.
we're not pricing our stuff
We're,
on Amazon.
I think you lose customers. We're in it for the long haul.
Yeah. And we want repeat customers too.
Yeah.
Now that Lego has entered this era, because you could blame it on COVID, you could blame it on shady business dealings or practices, whatever. But since Lego has entered this super scarcity period in their existence now, last year, I didn't notice anyway, you didn't have that problem where things sold out immediately and never came back. I didn't notice that a year ago. Because we're in this period of Lego history where things, even new things that you should be, in my opinion, you should be able to go to lego.com and buy certain
stuff
things.
that you don't think would be popular is selling out. And
Right
it's really
now.
weird.
They sell
Has
out.
that changed when something does come in our door? Has that changed us marking it for retail or not? Or does it depend on the set? Is that too hard of a question to answer?
Normally
It's kind of a hard question. It has happened during COVID. So the bonsai, no, we've been
The
selling
bonsai
that.
and the flower set, the flower bouquet, are literally non-existent anywhere. No one can find
The
them.
only one I can think of that we marked up above retail was either the Star Destroyer or the Falcon.
I think
UCS.
it was both because they both went up slightly.
But we
I think
thought
it's only $50.
We did it. It was like $50 to $100, which for a set that big is not a big deal. No. But we paid more money to get it because it was not available, and we thought maybe they were discontinuing it too. So.
It was very weird because everything would sell out. Like it just would say sold out on Lego.com. Like for instance, the Stranger Things set, and Amazon would have it for $450, $500, and then all of a sudden, a few weeks later, you'll look on Amazon, the set will be back down to retail on Amazon, and you're just thinking all those poor souls who bought it for that price could have bought it for $200. Yeah. Because Lego really doesn't tell you when stuff's retiring now.
So that's good to know if you're looking for something that you should be able to go to lego.com and get immediately, that they've been sold out for months, that you can call us and we might have it. You never know what might be walking through the door right now.
We never
because
even know.
Unless it's a very rare instance, like the ones you mentioned, we're going to sell it for retail.
Here's Watto, the original Watto. What's he up to now?
100?
He's always been up there.
Yeah.
He's always been a hard one to get. He only came in that Watto's junkyard.
The color and the mold itself are just
Yeah.
very rare.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, you
figure,
don't see
too.
that color very often, arm color wise and leg color wise.
And that's the old one. That's 99.
That's one of the first
Yeah,
ones.
one of the OG ones.
I think it might be 2000.
Sorry to interrupt. This is future Justin from the future. I'm just here to tell you that I cut this podcast or vodcast into 2 different parts because we just kept on talking. There's a lot to talk about with expensive minifigures. So we do gab on for another, I would say, 40 to 50 minutes. So look for that for next week. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here for this video, but please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Share this video, get the word out. We want people to know how awesome the Atlanta Brick Co. is and all the cool stuff we have. So let them know. And leave a comment as to what you want to see in the future. What other types of vodcast or just videos do you want us to make for you? You guys know. Why am I telling you? You know already. All right, we'll see you next time.